Hello, welcome to the Bat and Barrow and the second part of this sort of video series where we look at making my own board game. Yeah, nothing spookier than daylight, at least for a content creator where you're recording and looking all washed out, but that's by the by, just the intro just to get us up to scratch of where we are at the moment. First up, let's take a look at the board. Okay, so here is my board. I have my sort of mock-up of it, second version 2 if you like, or yeah, I guess it's version 2, maybe version 3, no, version 2. Yeah, so the images here are generated by Grok. Grok is really good at this kind of thing, generating images. As I said in the first part, I will be using AI for the mock-up, the prototype at least. If I go further, I would want to look at getting some proper artist art in here, but for now, for the mock-up, prototype, going down the AI route, and I quite like this. This is very autumnal and 80s horror movie vibe-esque. I mean, it did stick to DeLoreans in the town square. Speaking of town square, this will be a safe spot in the game. We'll cover the rules in a minute, I think. So I won't go over the rules, but that's going to be a safe spot. I've got the roads, which are a space in themselves. I was toying around with putting some sort of background onto the board. I definitely don't think I like that. But for now, this is a good mock-up for the board. I guess let's talk about the rules now. So I've sort of worked out the rules. This is in Kevlish. So it will be very, the English will be very rough. It's just me working out sort of notes and stuff and tidy it up a bit next time, I think. We're going to have 3 attributes: strength, agility, smarts. It's going to be a D6 based game, and there'll be a target number that you need to do after you check strength 4, and you have to roll D6 and get 4 and above. Your characters will have bonuses to those attributes. So your jock, for instance, jock still says weird to me. It's like me, it's talking about an athlete. Jock's a jock, when you know in the US is an athlete. To me, it's a Scottish person. I don't know if it's let's crack on. Yeah, so that's the sort of rules here. Setup is, I've sort of worked out how I want the setup to be. I'm going to pick a character out of 6 archetypes. You pick your monster. For now, I'm just going to have 1 monster, I think, for the prototype. You can always work on some more. Separate the dungeon tiles into groups. Take the objective cards. Shuffle those up, saying in amongst those there'll be 3 actual objectives we're looking for and 13 false leads. Shuffle each location deck. Each location will have its own deck of cards. Shuffle the bridge and shuffle the town cards. It's then a case of players move around the board, and if they land on a location space, they can enter and explore that. We'll cover that in a bit. I'm a bit concerned about movement. In my mind, I was thinking move 1 space, but I don't know if I should make it roll and move like Talisman and Touch of Evil, because if you move from a location to a road, not a lot goes on a road. That's just there for when the monsters chase you to make it sort of seem dramatic, like they're catching up with you and give you time to maneuver around. So I don't know what to do about the movement just yet. But the thing is, you have to explore a location to find the objective. So there are 16 locations you can explore in total. And when you explore a location, it becomes a mini dungeon crawl. So you take those tiles for that location, which is going to be done like Warhammer Quest. So you'd have, out of all the tiles for that location, you're going to say pick 12 of them. In amongst the bottom 6 will be the objective room that gets shuffled into them, and you put 6 on top of that, and you start off in an entrance tile and then work your way through it. It's going to be very much like the movement will be like the old 4th edition Wizards of the Coast D&D dungeon crawl games, where rather than Warhammer Quest, where it's tile based on square based on a tile, It's just you move from tile to tile. There's no movement within the tile itself. And each time you explore a new tile, there'll be an event card played, and there'll be monsters to fight in there and what have you. The bridge will be like the Sentinel and Talisman. There'll be an event card for that rather than just one standard thing like in Talisman. There'll be different events, different tasks you need to complete before you can pass through. Town Square is where you can heal up, but while doing so, you will increase the creep counter, and there's going to be a creep counter in this game, which we'll cover it in a sec. We've already gone over the ability checks above. Combat is just going to be a strength ability check to fight or an agility check to flee. If you flee, you're going to move not just a road space away, like one space, you're going to move one location away, so a road and a location. So you're really running away from this monster, and you keep fighting it, I think, until it reaches 0. It becomes like fighting fancy at this point. So if you start combat, you keep fighting, rolling dice until either you get down to 0 or the monster's down to 0, and then it's your turn over. You get down to 0, you end up in the hospital, and the creep counter will increase by 1. And then next turn, all you can do is return to your starting space, I think, and that'll just be your turn. So you're effectively missing a turn for losing combat. So the creep counter, normally in games I hate tracks, but this track, because they normally just go up and it doesn't give you enough time to explore and immerse yourself into the game. That's my opinion anyway. This will go up, and when it reaches 13, the game ends. But it also go down. There's also event cards and stuff you can do to make it go down, so you're constantly keeping it, moving it and keeping it under control. Let's try looking at the mask killer I've come up with again. It's just these sort of numbers here when I do stats are kind of initial, but I think this is what I'm going for. I have been rolling dice and doing sort of play testing, as it were, where you just take my hero stats. So I'm going to click onto the ideas here. Take my hero stats, let's say Jock, he has strength +2, and the monsters, the target number would be 5. So if I roll a dice now, for instance, I got a 1, +2 is 3, so I would have found that, the monster would have taken me. 2 + 3 is 5, so I would have got that one, got the monster then. 4 plus my strength, yeah, so it is working out okay. Here, I've still called it horror meter, now I've named it the creep counter. So when it reaches 1, it starts off at 0. If it reaches 1, we don't spawn the actual main monster yet, we spawn a minion, an escape maniac at the asylum, and the number of you spawn is related to where it is on the track. So at this time it would be 1, and as it goes on in time, you're going to spawn more and more depending where it is. So we'll cover that on the creep track back in the other one in a minute. So yeah, and then as different levels it reaches, different things happen. So at 2, you place the killer at the campsite spot. You can kill, you're going to be able to kill the monster, like if you defeat him in combat, what we've just covered here. He'll be removed, but he'll come back at different creep track settings. He'll come back, so it's like the horror films like Jason, where you can't stop him. The only way you can stop him is by finding those objectives. So go back to the rules and the creep counter. Yeah, so at 1, between 1 and 3, it's going to be calm, class as calm. You only spawn 1 minion. 4 to 6, 2 minions. 7 to 9, 3. 10 to 13, 4. And when it reaches 13, that is when the game ends. You got to get all 3 objectives when the game ends. Now, I don't know if I should have a final showdown type thing like Touch of Evil. Once you've got the 3 objectives, refight the bad guy with them. I don't know. I'm thinking about that. But that is where we are at the moment. I've also worked out all these sort of event, the locations. I've got the dungeon tiles I'll need to make, and the event cards I'll need to make, and the equipment cards. So for the equipment cards, I used the Grok generated location images for the backs of the cards. I've just created a Scribus sheet for the cards. I don't know if you've watched the Making My Own Space Quest video, but in that I went over Scribus. It's a really old piece of software. There's a piece of software I like using. You can set things up to snap to a grid. In this case, I've sort of snapped things to an inch grid. I work in, oh, this is centimeters actually. Sometimes I work in inches, and this one's a centimeter. And what you can do is you can create master pages too. So here I've got the master page of the backs of the cards, so town hall events, and these are going to be 6 centimeters wide, 8 inches tall, and then sort of the normal cards, front faces, set artwork AI generated. My apologies for that. There's going to be 3 sets, 6 cards of nothing. For a more difficult game, you could possibly think about leaving these out, or if you're on a medium game, just add 3 in. And I've gone through and done some cards. At the moment, I've got it quite wordy. I don't know whether to condense this down to more bullet pointy sort of stuff. It's quite wordy. So electronic lock is pick a lock in this room to apply the lock to. If the only door is the one you're entering, some rooms will only have one door, and that door slams shut behind you and locks. The door cannot be unlocked until you work out the key code. Make a smart 6 check. If you pass, the door unlocks and you can pass through. If you fail, you're going to miss the turn, kind of thing. Or so you're going to have to repeat this next turn until you pass, effectively. So I've got these. So what sort of cards we've got? So we've got the sort of doors locking, power outage. Is where things are put into black, so you need to use a light source, such as a torch or what have you. And then we're going to spawn some minions in this tile. The minions remain in tiles, not going to chase you around the location. So you can sort of flee from them. You still have to do the combat flee action, but you can sort of get away from them. And so you just put the card, leave the card on the tile, kind of like talisman for this. So in this we have some possessed clerks. My favourite one's this, Ghostly Librarian, which is basically Ghostbusters, the opening scene from Ghostbusters. I kind of like that. But different events for the town hall, and I have done all the location events at this stage, so that's kind of cool. Created those. For the dungeon tiles, I found Grok couldn't quite grasp the concept of dungeon tiles, so I'm using ChatGTP. Seems to be a daily limit of images I can generate with that, but that's fine. I can just get through. I'm able to get through almost a set a day, so in 14 days I should have them all done. So here we can see this is for the town hall again, basement archive. I've got a council chamber, an empty room, a hallway, a library room. This is the entrance tile. This will be the first tile they get to. The mayor's office will be the objective room. So when you get here, you can pick your objective. An office, records room, a stairwell. So that's all the tiles, and some will be like doubled up. Most of them will be doubled up, except for the entrance and the objective room. I have also taken the equipment card sort of stuff from my OneNote and put it into Scribus as well. So I've done the cards. That's what the card's going to look like for now. I've got enough equipment here. Lots of different interesting things. Basic. Some there's only one going to be one of. Some will be repeated. Rob's ball bearings. Yes, this is taken from our D&D games. One of my players kept on trying to use some metal ball bearings, so that's a reference to that. It'll be fun. There's going to be a map for each location, which will help you place more like 2 dungeon tiles rather than 1. I think that'd be quite handy. BMX, because 80's in it. And yeah, so I've got the equipment cards down, so getting all the sort of digital stuff done first before we can. I'm going to start printing all this out, so the digital stuff is done. So let's head back over to Scribus and get those tiles now into it. So here I've made it an inch grid with the minor grid being 0.2 inches. So I'm going to create an image frame of the work my way to the town hall and add them in. I won't show you, I'll cut it out a bit so you just see the tile. And then what I do is adjust the image to the tile, do a copy, and then repeat get image again to add another tile in. And what happened is afterwards, I sort of looked at them, I was a bit unhappy with the darkness of them. I thought the tiles need to be brightened, so I just brighten the tiles up and just sort of update the file. And this will be, I'm doing 9 tiles to a page. That should be nice and efficient for printing. got the residential done on the dungeon tiles now. Yeah, so I think all the cards are done. I've done all the event cards, all the locations. I've done the equipment cards. Tinker around with the player cards probably next video. And I'm just generating sort of AI, these tiles in the background. Whilst they look okay, these are going to be the first things I want to get replaced with some nicer looking, you know, like the Halls of Horror stuff. I think I'm just going to do them all next. So the mall is going to look like this. I want it to be that sort of bright white neon aesthetic. I think it's done okay. Got some stores, some storerooms, and just some empty sort of corridors that you have in malls. I know the mall's more open this, but rather than little room corridors, but it's a game. I need to show where to put the next tile. So yeah, an artist might be able to do better than that. And I think I'm going to start generating downtown now, but I think I'm going to leave that here for this video. I think that's enough. Got enough covered. I'm going to carry on generating some more tiles. That's what my plan for next time is. Generate the rest of the dungeon tiles, get these all printed out and start cutting them up and making them a physical thing, and carry on working on that game board, do the character cards, do the creep counter and the monster cards. So just carry on doing those and designing those and getting those printed out. But that'll be it for this one, guys. Until the next video, stay safe, leave me loads of suggestions and comments and what have yous down below. Give it a big thumbs up for me, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Stay safe, take care, bye bye.